Lagos State chapter of the All Progressive Congress APC has accused former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi of suffering from political selective amnesia. The party's spokesman, Seyi Oladejo, said Obi lacks the moral right to criticize politicians defecting to the APC, noting that his own political history is filled with cross-carpeting. Oladejo described Obi as the undisputed master defector who moved from ABGA to PDP, then to Labour Party, and is allegedly seeking another platform ahead of the 2027 elections. He said Obi's remarks about capturing the Southeast were attempts to remain relevant in a political environment that has outgrown empty populism. The APC maintained that the Southeast's growing alignment with the ruling party is voluntary and driven by a desire for inclusion and progress. Oladejo added that Obi's politics of isolation and sanctimony have lost appeal, leaving him politically stranded and out of touch with Nigeria's current reality. Let's begin with you, sir. What are your thoughts on this report?
In our quest for independence, in the days of Tony Nahuru, the man, after examining the political happenings there, he came with one proposition where he calls certain persons sinner saints. He made that pronouncement based on the actions that he was seeing. And I think that sinner saint, I'll be promoting that one.
Sinner saint.
Sinner saint.
Okay.
Yes, and I think Peter Obi fits into that category.
What does the sinner saint, what does it entail?
It's hypocrisy. You know, you will do something where other, does the same thing you are doing. You will try to play the victim role. You will, exonerate yourself as if others are doing wrong and you are right. That is the position of Peter Obi politically. You see, Peter Obi actually started his politics in PDP.
Okay.
He left the PDP to ABGA. There he was elected governor. From ABGA, he went back to the PDP. From PDP, he went to Labour Party. Currently, I don't know if he's a member of Labour Party or a member of ADC. I don't know. But such a man is not trying to criticize other people who are cross-carpeting today. That is the role of a sinner saint. It takes a sinner saint to exhibit such character. Political prostitution, if you mention it today, I think Obine will appear first in all of this. Politicians have found a means to market their personal political interests. You know, our politics here is not ideological based. It's all about what I can get from the system using the available vehicles. This is what they are doing, jumping from one ship to the other, from another political party to the other.
Right, but that doesn't make it right, does it?
Anything that is not lawful, as stated in the Constitution, that is the only time you can say this thing is not right, based on the conscience of the law. And this is one thing we are failing to know within the Nigeria context. Our emotions is always taking prominence when we are to judge the Nigeria society. Until the law prohibits an action, that is where you can say this thing is bad. But on a moral ground, you can judge and say, yes, on morality, but morality doesn't really count in this context. Where a constitutional democracy is speaking, morality takes the back seat. Those cross-carpeting today, the question we should be asking is, have they offended any law? Have they broken any law? If the answer is no, so why vilifying them? The next thing you have to do is to appeal to their conscience. That, Oga, the party gave you the opportunity to become who you are today. Why don't you stick to the party? If you think there are things that are not right within that party, why don't you find the means to work it out and ensure that the party becomes that thing that you are looking for? But just going out there to condemn the people where they have not offended any law, I think you are acting like the sinner saint.
Right. Thank you so much for your insight. Daniel, I mean, let's begin from the act of, he said, sinner sent and political prostitution, right? Do you think that is exactly what Obi is trying to do and Ladejo is actually correct?
No, first, all of these interactions are pure politics. What you see playing out is politics. Yes, Obi over the years had moved from one party to another. He is in the opposition, and so whatever the ruling class or the ruling party does to him, he would criticize. You can give that to the opposition. But you know, first the Constitution said we have freedom of association and freedom of movement. Even in our local association, I can want to belong to that association and I have the right to exit that association. Nothing should hold me back. Yes, in this time we've had some big, in political class, they say big fish, are now moving from one political party to another. Also remember that yes, Obi is of the Labour Party. He has reaffirmed that he's of the Labour Party. But as I talk to you today, he's campaigning in Abuja for the ADC guys who wants to become council chairman in Abuja. Recently, the man he campaigned for to become the governor of Anambra State, who contested against Soludo, the man has decamped from Labour Party to the APC. I think it's a normal thing. It's not something. In the US, we've had it. During the election, some persons moved from the Democratic Party. They moved into the Republican. This woman, what's her name now? Excuse me. I've forgotten her name now. And the man who is in charge of health he's also moved from the Democratic Party to the Labour Party. Even in the UK recently, some persons have moved from the Conservative
so it just
to the Labour
that
Party.
is an act of politicking in itself.
It has to do first with interests. If my interest does not align again with this association, you are free to pinch your tent anywhere. Now, have they offended the law? That's what should be critical. If I want to say, this man, why would you move? I will either be looking at legislatures who decamp because the law frowns against it. But again, it does not exist in isolation. You needed either the Speaker or the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the speakers at the state level to declare that seat vacant or not. That is only time where you will say, but for governors, they are free to move. The law does not frown against it. So, above all, I think for me, it is politics. You cannot hold something with one hand and think that you also want to benefit from what you yourself have exercised. You have used that constitutional right. You were in ABGA, you moved from ABGA, you joined the PDP. Nobody frowned at that. You contested elections as the vice presidential candidate with Atiku under the PDP. You lost that elections. So others are free to do same. If you have enjoyed that, nobody criticized you, nobody said anything. His campaign in Anambra State, he was campaigning the senatorial campaign to replace Ubai's name now. The man who lost his life, who died in the UK. Yes, Abga won that, but the person who came second was ADC, campaigned by Obi, supported by Obi, but you are in Labour Party. And currently, you are saying that you come and join the ADC. So all of this that you see is just politics playing out. Nothing had to do with ideology. No, it's just politics. And people who are looking for a better platform that will guarantee their interests. It's as simple as that. But to now make it an issue for what you enjoyed over the years, for me, it should not come from His Excellency Peter Obi.
Right, thank you very much. Now, when we look at it, he said that you know, people are moving basically because of interests. Most of the moves are interest-based. And you did talk about appealing to consciences of people to say, okay, this party brought you to limelight. Why do you think, under the blanket of all of this, there is no law for governors as it is for the legislatures as regards moving from one party to another?
You know, in a constitutional democracy, you know, functions are always divided. There are people who are saddled with the responsibility to legislate on behalf of the nation, right? If you feel that certain things are not right, somebody is representing your constituency, approach the person, sell that your idea to the person, support the person so that the person can represent that your interest at the National Assembly. The law can be tinkered with so that there will be something barring governors from moving. But as it stands today, there is no law restricting or prohibiting the governors from defecting. The only thing some of the governors are doing today that is not right is that some of them will claim that they have resigned from their former party and becomes partyless within a couple of days. That is not lawful. There is no room for independent candidates in our current constitution. Immediately you are moving, you should move to another platform, a political party. That is what the law says. You don't resign and remain partyless. There's no room for that in our current democratic setting. But trying to blame a governor for moving where there is no law prohibiting such action, I think you will be the wrong person there, saying things that are not right, trying to establish illegality, calling what is right as though wrong. So what are you trying to create in the society?
But that doesn't say devoid him of an opinion, don't you think?
Your opinion, see, Obi is not just an ordinary Nigerian. He was former governor. He was also recognized during the Abacha government, and he worked for a couple of weeks. Former vice presidential candidate, former deputy director to President Jonathan, the presidential campaign. So he has held high positions.
Right.
So he's an opinion molder. When he speaks, he should speak to encourage others to support our democracy and not to create dissatisfaction within the society. So his words, so many people form opinion from Obi's words. You enjoy this thing. In fact, you did it. More of political prostitution came from you. So why try to condemn people who have not even done what you've done and try to make it as if it's unlawful? You are inciting the people against the state, which is not right for a person of his status. Sometimes we claim that we love Nigeria, we want a better society, but our action speaks otherwise. How can we become a better state, a better people? It's by doing what is right, what is lawful. And others will also submit to the rule of law. And by that, we enjoy that better society.
Very well. Thank you so much for your insight.
Let me just quickly say this. Former Governor Chima of Enugu State said something. Let me read. He said, political realignment is not betrayal. It is the courage to follow vision when old paths can no longer carry the dream. If you feel that your aspirations, which for me are personal, that can no longer carry the platform A, you have every right to move away from them. The Constitution, which is first the foundation, allows you to move. But the aspect where I would not agree with my brother and friend is that Obi is to make you look bad. That's his job. He's in the opposition. Even though he knows it is right for you to move, but in the eyes of the public, his job is to make you look bad, so that he has a platform to speak to others, that we would correct this abnormality. That's the work of the opposition. It doesn't necessarily mean that what the campaign is wrong, but Obi's job from the opposition is to make everything look bad. If he's not doing that, then why is he in the opposition? Why does he not join the ruling class or the ruling party? He should have joined them. But once he chooses to remain in the opposition, his job is to warn if there are policies of government. To say the policy of government is going A, no, we can have it better going B. But once you see this defection happen, and you see one thing with defection is that it begins to make others look useless. Imagine people leaving the PDP. If you and I would sit here together and say, okay, as young people, let's look for a platform that would encourage our aspirations. Would you, in all honesty, take PDP now when you saw people leaving? That's one aspect of defection. Okay. And in order to arrest that drift, is for people like him to speak and discourage people to say, look, your moving doesn't affect us. Nigerians will decide. It is not the governors who will decide. But deep down, we know that this movement affects a lot, especially at the political arena.
Now, when you talk about the political arena, don't you think we are rather moving towards a one-party system with all these giant moves we currently have going on?
See, that is why the opposition must challenge itself. We have had people who have been in opposition. They never joined the ruling class. Even when they remained the only one, they stood. In that, they tried to bring others to their platform. They started by winning one state, moving to the next state they won another state, they got people to buy into their ideas. The opposition should wake up. It's a lazy idea to say, oh, it's a one-party state. Why then would some not sit down? Others have done it before. They sat down. The current president, he was in AC. He sat down. He even brought in, what's his name now? Was it the former EFCC chairman?
No, Ribadu.
No, contested president under no.
ACN.
So
ACN, no, Ribadu contested under ACN.
Ribadu contested president. They failed, but they got some states.
Even
they won some states. Atiku came to the opposition platform, contested that election. They lost that election, but they also won some states. They kept moving. There was a time in Nigeria where PDP was controlling 32 states. Who then was shouting one-party state? The opposition never had that time. They sat down, they were meticulous about it, on how they will get to power. Today they are in power. These ones should stop jumping here and there. They should sit down if they truly want to be one opposition. Take the ADC, for example. For me, it's a joke.
ADC?
Yes, if we agree, this is the point. Do you know most of the big wigs have not joined the ADC? Are you aware? They have not officially joined.
They are not members.
They have not joined. Okay, what are you doing? If we agree, sit down and agree that, look, let's forge ahead. This is what is happening. This country must not be allowed to go to a one-party state. Why is it that as at today, some persons who had that meeting, who were in that inauguration, the first inauguration, why are they not officially members? Why? Why is Obi not a member? Why is Nasiru El-Rufai not a member? Why are they not members?
Even Atiku is not a member of ADC.
Why are they not members? When ACN started with CPC, AMPP, part of ABGA, no, part of something, Rocha Sokorocha from
it's
Imo.
ABGA, no?
Was it ABGA? They started. They all collapsed. There was no time you say Ebola Tinubu was waiting. Waiting for what? They agreed and they all collapsed their platform to form the APC. Why is it that if people want us to take them serious, that at this stage you agree that you move to the ADC, why is it that some of those who made that agreement in that room are still not officially members of that political party? Why? Is it that you don't believe in that party? Or is it that you have a plan B? APC never had that. They collapsed completely, submitted back their registration paper to INEC to get the APC. So what is happening? So it's a lazy man argument for me to say, oh, we are falling to one-party state. The oppositions are not serious.
Thank you so much for your insight on that.
And added to what he just said, now you see, a political joker will remain a political joker. Currently, the only known ADC bigwig is Rotimi Amechi. Apart from David Mark and Aregbe Shola, who are now holding executive position within the party. It's only Amechi. Currently, I watched an article who was setting up offices in some of the states in the north for the ADC, branding cars and the rest of it. But ask, have you seen Peter Obi setting up one office in Anambra State for the ADC? No. But these are people who are telling you that they are taking over power in 2027. Some will even tell you that they don't need structure. That after somebody got, I think, about 6 million votes without any governor, no structure, they forgot that the sentiment that played out there during that era is not the same sentiment if election is to be conducted today. Some people ruled on certain misinformation on the basis that, oh, they are coming to Islamize the country, manipulated the minds of so-called Christians, that this is our Christian candidate. All our votes should be given to this person. It was preached on altars. I heard it. I watched it. I saw. So they are still relying on that sentiment, thinking that it will play out in 2027. And Nigerians not seeing, and Nigerians not reading. So they are joker like that and say, ADC is a joking party. Labour Party are not serious. Even currently, some of the Labour Party, I will tell you, Obi is not their member. So where is your opposition? But later they will tell you presidency is trying to manipulate. In fact, they are intimidating people to join their party. They are witch hunting people. If you are not a witch, why would you be hunted? If you saw that the presidency is intimidating people, why not reach out to those persons? Speak to them. Give them that assurance so that they can remain and you strengthen your party and remain the viable opposition that you needed to be so that you can take over power.
So you don't think they're doing enough ground?
It's lazy man talk that they are busy exhibiting out there, trying to manipulate the minds of Nigerians to believe that as if though they are serious. They are not serious. They are just jokers.
Thank you so much for your insight on that report.